believe we can check no on that.
We can check no on that.
We
if it
can
was English.
Okay. So, based off of that, I think that considering the information that Miss English shared about Mario's academics, we could recommend extended school year for Mario, and that's just summer school, so that he doesn't drop over the summer, since he's already a little bit behind where he needs to be. It would just help reinforce some of those skills, make sure he doesn't drop, and then hopefully get him even closer to being where he needs to be for the beginning of 7th grade. Would that be something that you would agree would be beneficial for him, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can mark yes for extended school year then on the IEP. Okay. And I already kind of explained what that was about. So let's move on to creating some goals for Mario to work towards. We can decide what we would like to focus on there. So usually we make the goal to address any concerns that we had stated earlier, that Miss English stated in her report, or that our school psychologist stated in her report. So the areas of concern for Mario were reading comprehension, social skills, and some of those executive functioning things like remembering his materials for class, and just some of those student behaviors. So why don't we start with the goal for social skills or behavior? So we can decide what is it that Mario most needs to work towards for those things, and we can kind of let Miss English and then the special education teacher kind of collaborate in talking about where does he need to go for those social behaviors. So I'll let the special education teacher talk a little bit here. So his ability to refrain from outbursts and wait for his turn to talk is a life skill that's necessary in daily living, just collaborating with people. He'll need those skills later on when he's finding a job and things like that. Utilizing socially normal behavior will enhance his interpersonal relationships, as well as provide greater opportunities for success for him in making friendships and some of those teamwork and collaborative types of things that are necessary for school. And so I think we can come up with a behavior goal kind of geared towards those things, because those will be skills that will be necessary for him. So if we want to have Miss English kind of, where do you think we should go behaviorally?
So I
what
think
are some things that we can do?
I think Mario's regular. I think we need to double the efforts to increase frequency of positive reinforcement when Mario is doing work correctly or displaying especially good behavior.
Okay.
Mario will be seated next to positive peer role models and placed in a seat facing the teacher to promote engagement and focus. A consistent approach using rules and corrective consequences model will help Mario understand appropriate behavior and consequences if he chooses not to make those choices. In correlation to the rules and corrective consequences model, Mario will be given clear guidelines and expectations for good behavior in the classroom.
Okay. So, Josiah, is there anything you would like to add or ask about concerning the behavior goal? Those are the things that we just listed. Those will be what his specific individualized instruction will be geared towards. Did you have any questions about those?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What do you think that you could do to help reinforce that at home? Is there anything that you would like to kind of tag team? So it seems to be a little bit more successful if we're teaming together and you're helping at home along with us.
So some things as a special education teacher that I can tell you that we have available is you guys can attend counseling sessions designed to assist with some things that you can do at home and active methods of helping Mario's intellectual and emotional development together, like family type counseling sessions. And then you can help provide him with reinforcement.
That'll be the best thing.
Reinforcement
Just
at home.
noticing when he's doing something good.
Okay.
Good behavior.
Perfect. And then you can just make sure, just like we will have at school, that you'll just have clear boundaries that, so when he is doing those specific behaviors, that you can address those. Predictability, I found helps students with these types of characteristics. It's very beneficial for them.
And often if we're using like the same kind of language and response that you're using at home and we're using it at school, that becomes more successful.
Okay. And then I think maybe to help that, so that we can be making sure that we're using the same type of language, we can implement a homeschool communication system. Would that be something that you'd
definitely.
be okay? So we'll add that in the accommodations then. So why don't we have the school psychologist tell us a little bit about what a behavior plan would look like for Mario then? Okay. So positive reinforcement will be included in that plan. So when Mario behaves in a non-aggressive manner toward other students for an entire day, he can be given like a sugarless candy or a healthy snack, because I know that food is a pretty good motivation for him. We will include verbal praise when he answers questions in class at a 5-to-1 ratio. So Miss English and then the special education teacher will help implement that. And then when Mario comes to class on time with all of his materials, he will receive verbal recognition. So we have to be very cognizant and aware that we are doing that as special education and general education teachers. And when he completes his group work with no verbal or physical abuse, he will receive an additional 5 minutes of sports time during the lunch hour. And I think that, just based on what Josiah has said, might be pretty motivating for him.
Oh yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so along with that positive reinforcement on the behavior plan, we need to have something in place as far as some corrective consequences go.
Well, I think also keeping in mind with that we implement that in the classroom too, with those brain breaks again as well.
Yeah, those sports kind of activities. Mm-hmm. Perfect. So the corrective consequences, will have a point system developed within the classroom. So Mario can add points for appropriate behavior, like when he's on time, prepared for class, showing positive peer interactions. But then on the flip side, he will also lose points for inappropriate behavior, like some of the verbal outbursts and the physical contact or being unprepared for class. So when Mario continues the inappropriate behavior, this is the plan that I would like to put in place. He will miss 10 minutes of shop class and 10 minutes of PE class and/or. I think those would also be some motivating factors for him, since those are some subjects that he enjoys. And then another thing that we could have in our consequence bank is for him to write an apology letter to whoever's learning was disrupted during an outburst. And then when he continues the inappropriate behavior, he'll miss the entire class period for shop or PE. Would that be something that you would think would be a motivating consequence?
Yeah, definitely. He loves those things. He looks forward to those things, and if he knows that they're on the line, then I think it's a good place to start.
Okay, perfect.
You know, another thing that we might want to implement too, I've noticed that when Bella's here, he interacts really well with her. So we may want to put that into the plan as well, that he can earn points to, you know, maybe take her on walks and things like that. That would also work into that physical moment to take a break.
Okay, so maybe spending some time with our service dog, that would be something that would be beneficial. do you
Definitely, I think so
Josiah?
too, yeah.
Okay, I think that's great. It's good to have some positive reinforcers built into that behavior plan. So that's just a general outline of what it would look like so that we're all on the same page as far as how to reinforce the expected behavior, and then kind of how to start diminishing that unwanted or negative behavior. Okay, so let's go to the relative services, and we'll decide if there's any other services he would need other than that individualized instruction. So, if we, as the school psychologist, I would recommend having him meet with the school counselor maybe once a week for an hour, so he would just miss one class period. Maybe that could be his study hall for that day, would be meeting with the counselor just so he could get some of those strategies of how to deal with that frustration and not knowing how to complete some of his work. And then those are strategies that he can take with him should he go on to college or any job. I think that would be helpful for him to meet with the counselor once a week. I would like to recommend that. Would that be something that you think would be beneficial, Josiah?
Definitely.
Okay.
Could we?
And Bella, our service dog, she's such a sweetie. She's here, so Mario will love to spend time with her.
Could we also think about, depending on schedules, dividing that 1 hour up into 2 half-hour sections?
That would be another option. So I know that Mario does have study hall on his schedule, and so instead of missing the whole study hall hour for 1 day a week, he could do 2 different days a week where he could just miss a half an hour of that.
Yeah, I would be down with both. We can see what works the best.
Okay, so just for the purposes of including it on the IEP, which one would we like to start with? And then we can always make an amendment later if we need to.
Let's go with one time a week, 60 minutes.
Okay.
Do we have to say that it's one time, or can we just say 60 minutes a week?
We have to note.
How often?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the frequency of that. So.
Okay.
So for right now, we'll just put it on the IEP as one time a week for 60 minutes, and then if we need to make an amendment, then we can easily do that.
Okay.
So, is there anything else we should consider, including Mario's behavior plan?
I guess there must be at least 0 tolerance for physical and emotional harassment in the forms of bullying or casual hazing. So I think we need to draw a firm line with every student on that.
Okay, so I will put that in his consequence bank if there's any type of physical behavior that he exhibits, then that will just be an automatic in-school detention, and he will not get the opportunity to be around other students for that day. Okay, I would agree as well. So. Okay, is there anything else that we need to be sure to add on that behavior plan that will follow him through up into next year's teachers as well? So is there anything that we think would be important for the next year's teachers to incorporate or know about for Mario?
As far as relationships between students? Do we need